let us see some of the previous year UPSC and ESE questions from the topic cyber security. First question is from ESE 2017. The question is, consider the following statements on firewall used in computer systems. First, it controls and monitors the data traffic flow between inside and outside network. Second, it protects and secures the inside network from any outside network. Third, it can be implemented in software or hardware or combination of both. So it is about the firewalls. Firewall is an intrusion prevention system that is helping our computer systems from the vulnerabilities in the network when it is connected to an internet. So its main aim is to control the data traffic. So we can configure the firewall settings so as to allows and or does not allow certain type of traffic. So first question is correct. It controls and monitors the data traffic flow between inside and outside network. So the firewall comes in between the outside network and the private network. Right. This is the firewall. Second, it protects and secures the inside network from any outside network. So its function is protection by blocking the unnecessary contents. Third, it can be implemented as software or hardware or a combination of both. So when we are used in a network, before we are routing the network to any routers or switches, we will first place the firewall, that is a hardware device with a software running on it, that can be called as a hardware firewall. When we are installing the firewall software in our operating system, it is called as software firewall. So it can be implemented in both ways and both can be used in a single network also. So all three are correct. 1, 2, 3 are correct. That means option D is the answer. This question is from ESE 2017. Consider the following statements regarding to Internet of Things or IoT. First, IoT extends the communication via internet to all of the things that surrounds us. Second, IoT is M2M communication. Third, IoT uses only wireless technology. Fourth, the major objectives for IoT are the creation of smart environments or space and self-aware things. Which of the above statements are correct? So there are 4 options, only 2 are correct. So we have to be careful in selecting only 2 among the 4 statements. First statement says that it extends communication via internet to all things that surrounds us. So the concept of Internet of Things is like that. We have M2M communication, that is machine to machine communication. So it is the next level, taking all these M2M communication over the internet. So internet is the vital part in IoT, and the things, in IoT the things means all the things. So we may be having a confusion here, how we are able to connect all the things. But it means that we will be able to connect all the things. We can implant the devices, that is sensors, chips in everything is possible. We can apply the embedded technology, so that this is the concept behind IoT. So this statement is correct. Second, IoT is M2M communication. IoT is not M2M communication. IoT is something more than the M2M communication. So M2M will be a subset of the IoT. IoT is the superset. Okay. So this second statement will be wrong. Third, IoT uses only wireless. No, it will use both wired and wireless connections. Whatever is possible, we will use. The aim is only connections, whereas wired or not wired. So this third statement also wrong. 4. Main objective of IoT are creation of smart environment or space. So we can create smart things, we can create smart cities, we can create smart homes. So it is correct. It is about smart things. It makes the option 1 and 4 is correct. 1 and 4 is C. The answer is C. Next question is also from ESE 2017. Consider the following statements concerning e-governance and technology. So here e-governance and technology applications are combined and asked as one question. So if we are dividing, we can divide it into two categories. It can come under either e-governance or applications of the technology. First, rich site summary RSS is not a very useful tool for working on web service technology. Second, MySpace is one of the most visited networks in the world. Third, Facebook.com is not the most useful social networking site of choice for most students. Fourth, Wiki is a group collaboration software tool working on web service technology. So here again 4 options are there. We have to select only 2. RSS. What is RSS? RSS is a syndication tool. Syndication tool means it is a method to get the contents of one site to another site. So when we are subscribing to this RSS, we will get updates about the site, updates about the blogs that we are subscribed to in our services. In our desktop we will get. So it is a useful tool when we are considering web service technology for marketing and also for distribution of the contents, broadcasting, distribution, like that. It is helpful. Second, MySpace. MySpace is the one of the largest social networking site. It may not be so much popular in India, but in America it is very popular. So it is a social networking site. Third is about Facebook.com. Facebook.com is also one of the famous social networking site which is having many followers. Facebook.com is also a like popular social networking site. Fourth, so here we have to be careful. It is telling that Facebook is not. If it is telling like Facebook is not, the option will become wrong. What about fourth? Wiki is a. So here also, first statement also it is telling that RSS is not. So this makes the statement wrong. So 1 and 3 are wrong. You have to be careful about the word not. Fourth, Wiki is a group collaboration software. Yes, it is a collaboration software which helps the public also to edit the contents of the site, which was not possible before. So it is a technology. So it is a technology used in web service for making collaborative websites. So one famous example is the Wikipedia that is using this technology. Answer B is correct, right? 2 and 4. It is B. It is correct. This question is from ESE 2017. Consider the following as advantages of ICT tools in education systems. First, increased capacity and cost effectiveness of the educational system. Second, achievement by target groups that had limited access to traditional education. Third, support for improvement of quality and relevance of existing structures of education. Fourth, provision of links between various educational institutions for knowledge sharing. So they have given different advantages of ICT tools. First is about increased capacity and cost effectiveness. It is correct, right? Because when we are digitally recording a lecture or digitalizing the material, that material can be supplied to different people, like in different locations, large number of students. So instead, a limited number of students attending a particular class, here the reach will be more. Large number of students can access the resources. So this makes it cost effective. So investment will be less, right? Investment will be less for the more number of students that it is serving. So it is cost effective. Second, achievement by target groups that have limited access to traditional education. Traditional education was not reaching every corner of the country, because there were some remote locations, particularly the forest regions, where there were no school facilities. So those children were out of our formal education system, and some cultural constraints are there. They will not be sending their children to the formal schools because of their cultural constraints. Then disabled students faced difficulties in reaching the school, and people with a special attention who have, so in disablement we have like any hearing impairment, visual impairment, so they need special type of resources, right, for their education. So formal education won't include such people, so they were largely out of the education network. And children with special needs, those who have difficulty in learning, so their needs are different, like children with autism, like that, children with special needs are there. So using technology we can cater to the demand of such people. Then women, so these are all the disadvantaged group. Their opportunity to get education is less compared to the general group. So such kind of people will be brought into the knowledge network using the ICT technology, so that the reach will be more. It can reach even the remote location, and they can even learn at their home also. Third, support for improvement of quality and relevance of the existing searches. Okay, it will support existing structures in schools with the help of different aids, different teaching aids, different management systems. So it will support the traditional education also. Fourth is the link between various educational institutions for sharing. So there we can establish a network of the educational institutions. They can share their resources, they can have connectivity, they can exchange the faculty. So many possibilities are there with the networking. So all these are the advantages given by ICT in education. So the answer is D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the question is, accessibility legislation is intended to A. Protect intellectual property, B. Improve the usability of websites, C. Make all website easier to use for visually impaired people, improve access to services for disabled people in both physical and virtual worlds. So it is about the accessibility legislation. So with ICT it is easy to improve the accessibility to different resources, right? So the accessibility legislation is not confined to the digital world. It is confined to the both digital and physical world also. Physical accessibility improves, better facilities for the disabled people to access the infrastructures. Similarly, accessibility in digital means that conversion of the digital resources so that disabled people can also access it, visually impaired people can access it, speech impaired people can access it, like that. So it is not about protection of intellectual property. It improves the usability of website. It will be true because it can be used by many people. Let us see. It makes website easier to use for visually impaired people. Yes, that is also correct. Accessibility legislation tries to improve the website accessibility also. D. What details that improve access to services for disabled people in both physical and virtual world. So this is the better definition of what is accessibility legislation. So B and C are dealing with accessibility also, but D is the answer because accessibility legislation is about improving access in both physical and virtual world. Next question is also from ESE 2017. Pragati is the acronym of Proactive Governance and Transparency in India, Proactive Governance and Timely Implementation, Primary Governance for Transparency in India, Promoting and Accomplishing Governance with Assured and Timely Implementation. So this is an easy question. It is asking for the expansion of Pragati. So we saw that Pragati is a monitoring program directly undertaken by our Prime Minister to monitor the different activities even at the district level. So it stands for proactive governance. Proactive governance means using this technologies to get in touch with the people. As a like government is taking initiative to get feedback from the people, to interact with the people. Proactive governance and timely implementation, for ensuring the timely implementation of the projects. Is the answer. Next question. The main goal of G2B, government to business, is to increase productivity by giving more access to information, to lower the cost of doing business, to create more transparency. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. So the question is about e-governance, that is government to business. So what is the dealing with the government to business? Government will be giving, government will be acting as a regulator, right? So they different business needs different permissions, certificates, compliance to the laws, like that. So these are this can be provided as a service by the government, so that the registration, compliance will be easy through the digital space. And their government can give them information of the different taxations, different rules, policies, and also about the different resources. So if the government is finding a natural resource, coal and petroleum reserve, they can give the information in the public, so that the private players who are interested in developing that can access to the information and take use of these opportunities, right? If the government is sitting on the files and not revealing everything, the economic development would happen. So it is about increasing productivity by giving access to information. So certain information that government has already done, say certain survey or environmental impact assessment, something like that, if they are able to share the information, the business don't have again to go and do the work again, right? It will avoid the repetition, it will avoid the cost, it will avoid the unnecessary expenditure, it will save the time. So like this, it can improve the productivity of the business if it is giving access to information. So next is about to lower the cost of doing business. So doing business cost means they have to get many permissions, then they have to, if they want land, they have to get allotted the land, right? Land, then they need electricity connections, land registrations, some things are there that the government services will provide. What happens normally is, because of the red tapeism, these kind of activities will take a long time, and this will improve the cost of doing business, unnecessarily delays in project approval, project permission, giving electricity connections, like that. So with the implementation of ICT, these services will be given to a single portal, which will eliminate the time delay, and the process will be streamlined and ensure the timely implementation. So it will lower the cost of business and improve the ease of doing business. Third, to create transparency. So there is transparency in the dealings, transparency in the purchases, transparency in the auctions, transparency in bidding, like that. So it will bring the transparency also. So the answer is 1, 2, 3 are correct. What is the option? It is D. The next question is assertion and reasoning type. This is also from ESE 2017. Two statements are given. If both statements are true and second one is the correct explanation of first statement, you have to select code A. If both statements are true but second statement is not the correct explanation of statement first, you have to choose B. You have to choose C when statement first is true but statement second is not true. You have to select D if statement first is false but second is true. So here the first statement is Digital India is a program to transform India into a digitally empowered society. Statement second is Digital India is a program to institute smart cities. So first statement, we know that it is about the vision of the digital India, right? It is aims to transform India to a digitally empowered society through access, then about literacy, like that, the issues which is required for making the society digitally empowered is taken up under digital India. So the first statement is correct. Second, to institute smart cities. So is digital India's aim is to institute smart cities? It is not, because we have another project, another mission called Smart City Mission for implementation of the smart city. But smart city will be using the different digital India projects also, different ICT technologies also. But it is not the aim of digital India to institute smart cities. So first statement is true and second is false. So the option is C. Next question. This question is also from ESE 2017. Consider the following statements. Vision of Digital India launched by Government of India is centered on: first, digital infrastructure as utility only to senior citizens. Second, governance and services on demand. Third, digital empowerment of every citizen. Which of the above statements are correct? So we are given three statements about digital India. First is digital infrastructure. So the Vision India statement we saw, what is the vision? Vision is about a digital infrastructure for all, right? So this is important. So digital infrastructure for all means broadband connectivity for all, mobile connectivity, then digital resources. It is for every person, not only the senior citizens. So here they have given that it is for senior citizen. That makes the first statement wrong. Second is about governance and services on demand. That also we saw. Whatever is the citizen is requiring, they have to give on real-time basis, based on the participation feedback, like that. So it is on-demand service provision, going for real, integrated and cloud services. So for better service delivery. So the second statement is correct. Third, digital empowerment of every citizen. Yes, digital empowerment includes giving access and also to increase the capability through different missions like digital literacy mission and local language support, like that. So the 2 and 3 are correct. It is option. Which are the correct statements, right? 2 and 3 are correct. It is option D. The question is about Holostore. Consider the following statements regarding Holostore. First, it is a device that reads and writes data in an optical form. Second, it is a computer storage device. Third, it refers to institutions where holography is taught. So the question is about Holostore. So what is holography? Holography is a method of storing data as holographic images in a optical in a material with optical properties. So it can be a crystal. So here the data will be stored in the terms of interference patterns. And these interference patterns are produced using laser beams. So there will be 2 laser beams, one reference beam and one beam coming from the object, and these beams are allowed to interfere. What is interference? Interference is the property by which when 2 electromagnetic waves are interacting or overlapping, its amplitude will get either added or subtracted. So there will be variation in the amplitude of the resultant waves. So this will come up a patch of black and white. If you are seeing it in a screen, so it will appear like different patches of dark and white bands according to the data according to the amplitude of the signals, and amplitude of the signals or frequency of the signals can carry the data. This pattern will be stored in the device, optical device, that is the device which is having optical properties, that it can store this pattern. That is how hologram works. So this holographic storage, what is Holostore? It is a device that stores that reads and writes data in an optical form. It is correct. Holostore is a device. And second, it is a computer storage device. Yes, it can be accessed by the computer because this is saved in terms of some patterns which can be converted to digital format, so it can be accessed by a computer. Third, it refers to institutions where holography is taught. It is wrong. It is not about institution. It is a device, storage device. So the answer is C, 1 and 2. This is the answer.